Hello and welcome to Youth Services serving ages 7 to 12. This is the State Library of Iowa's Core Endorsement Program. And I am your instructor. My name is Janae Jackson Doring, and I'm the Youth Services Consultant for the State Library of Iowa. So if you have any questions about youth-related issues, reading, collection development, programs for this age group, please contact me. I would love to come out to your library and talk to you and share some resources. So today we're going to talk about school-age students at a glance. So for school-age kids, you have to understand there are lots of ages of people that go to school. And don't forget homeschoolers too. So we're really talking about that elementary to middle school age range. This module will focus on the ways this age cohort begins to assert independence. This group of students loves to be independent. They love showing what they can do and voicing those concerns. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But just remember, they are building independence, they're building skills, and their building of that independence should be reflected in your library services and programs. And we'll see some examples of that. So first of all, let's talk about the social and emotional developmental stages, for age 7. So according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, for this age group, 7-year-olds are more likely to pay more attention to friendships and teamwork. This group wants to be accepted and liked by friends. So they're really trying to find out who they are, who are their peers, who are the people that they can hang and feel belonged in. This group also shows more independence from parents and family, and they're starting to show concern for others. With the tweens, it's kind of a similar situation. Now, I know there's some libraries that just say, oh my gosh, tweens, I don't like that word. You are more than welcome to not use tweens. That is totally fine. It sounds like this is the kind of the way of the world that age range from 8-year-olds to 12-year-olds. They're not exactly a teenager, but they're not exactly a child either. So that's why they are called tweens. But with this group, this tween stage, this focuses on 3rd through 6th grades. So roughly that age 8 to 12 group. One thing you have to remember, they are in transition. So a lot of things are happening. These kids are facing puberty, body changes, their cognitive development is changing. This group loves to share opinions. They will tell you what they like, what they don't like. They are critical thinkers. So they're starting to question things, question adults, question why does this have to happen this way? So they're really using those critical thinking skills while making new friends, because they want to make new friends. They want to be seen and they want to belong into a group. This group also loves hands-on experiences. They want to try new things. They want to make, they want to create things. They want to build. So providing hands-on experiences would be a wonderful way for tweens in their development. They want to come to the library, and they do come to the library, but they come either on their own to the library or with a caregiver or a family member. So knowing all this, knowing what we know about tweens and 7-year-olds, our libraries, we need to have programs and spaces to nurture their development, to nurture their learning. So how do I plan programs? What do? I don't know how to start. I don't know where to start. What do I do? You're saying, yes, we have to plan programs for tweens and 7-year-olds, but I've never worked with 7-year-olds. I've never worked with a tween. What do I do? First thing, ask the kids what they want. You have kids coming into the library every day. You see them at the circulation desk. You see them in the children's fiction section. You see them in the nonfiction section. They come to you asking for book recommendations or where can I find a book? When they're at the desk, when you have their attention, ask them what they want. They will tell you what kinds of programs they'd like to see in the library, what kind of maybe performers they would like to have at the library. That is the most wonderful time to get their feedback, and they'll be honest. They'll tell you what they'd like to see. They may say, hey, I would really love to have a scavenger hunt in the library, or I would like to have a zoo come in for a program, or I would like to have a coding program. But ask them, ask those kids, those regulars that come in every day, ask them what they want. And look at their interests and what are they interested in? If you see a child coming in and you know that they're checking out every Pokemon book in your collection, maybe you should think, I wonder if I can make that into a program. So look at what they're interested in. What do they like? And what is the relevance of that? Look to pop culture trends. What's trending now in our world? What's trending on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the platforms? What are they talking about with their friends after school? What is it that is currently going on in this world that you can look at and say, hey, I think I could make a program out of that. So look to pop culture trends. And also look at your collection. Look at the books that are being checked out. At my old library where I used to work at, one thing that I would do is I would go to the recently returned section and I would look at the children's stacks to see what items were checking out, what were tweens asking for. I was just looking to see what was going out and seeing if I could build programs on that. Because if you see a trend of certain books leaving, checking in and checking out, chances are they want a program on that. So look at what's being checked in, what's being checked out. What books are your students requesting? What are they asking for? What's popular? So I would recommend those tips as far as planning programs for this age cohort. One way of also creating programs is finding a community partner. Partnering with a organization or local organizations in your community can help perfectly in connecting with this age group. You have schools, you have after-school clubs, scouting groups, homeschool groups. They are a wonderful, wonderful source to partner with. The 4-H club, or you might reach out to your extension office or city departments. But these are just some examples of partnering with groups. Partner with these groups because they can offer you resources. They can also bring in these tweens that are wanting to come to the library. So find a partner and partner with them. And services. Our libraries have services. We have things to offer to this age group. We have places to build and foster social connections outside of school. A lot of tweens come to the library to hang out. Either they're hanging out with their friends or hanging out with their family, but they're making friends and they're finding that special place to hang out. And they know that the library is a safe place. It's a safe space to explore independence and interests. I remember teens and tweens going to the library, and I would see tweens going straight for the graphic novel section. And that's okay. If that's their interest, go for it. Or they would get on the computers and play on the computers until it was time for their caregiver to pick them up. So we have to provide a safe space for them to explore those interests and so that way they gain their independence. And we also have computers. We have computer access, we have devices, we have the materials that they're looking for. And also, we have hands-on programs. We have all kinds of programs for this age group. One thing I'd also like to share is, if you have the time, create family programs at the library. This is a great way to reach kind of the all ages bracket of programming. And although we are programming for this age cohort of 7 to 12-year-olds and embracing their needs, families are still a good way to connect with this age group. When you have an all ages program, it might look a little different, and that's okay. Every program that you have is going to look different. But the all ages programming and the connections that you make will make a big difference. Case in point, we had at the library that I used to work at, we had a comic con of sorts. It was kind of a big, large comic book kind of convention. It was for a day. And we had all different types of programs for all different ages. So one room was just for the little kids, so ages 0 to 5. And then the second room was for that 7 to 12-year-old age range, where they got to play games and they got to make perler bead art. So having all ages programming, it will look different, but having that family connection, having an all ages program gives something for everybody, and it just brings your families together. So advocate for kids with grown-ups, advocate for family programs at the library, because you're building that love of learning, you're building that love of literacy, and you're showing your families and the kids that the library has what they need, and it's a wonderful and safe place. So I've talked a lot about 7 to 12-year-olds, how to create programs. Let's take a look now at library spaces, services, and programs for this age cohort. So our first library, and I'm going to move my picture real quick so that way you can see it. The first two libraries that you see on the screen, to your left is the Perry Public Library. They have a designated tween center for tweens. As you can see, there's some comfy seating, there's a table there. There's also some books that are tween related, but that is a wonderful space for tweens. That way they can have that independence that they crave. Also, at the Iowa City Public Library, they have a space called Totally Tweens, and their tween space is just for 3rd through 6th graders. It's a nice big area, comfy seating. They have books that they have moved into this space that are just for tweens, that they designated for tweens. Both of these spaces have really good tween areas for tweens to feel comfortable and safe. I'm going to move my picture here so you can see this flyer here. This is from the Ottumwa Public Library, and for their teens and tweens, they offer a monthly subscription box. So this flyer, I took a picture of it at their library, and so tweens that are ages 11 to, and it goes all the way to 18, they can pick up a subscription box, and inside the box are books, DVDs that are checked out to the tween, and there's some goodies. So maybe a couple snacks, some little fuzzy socks, a pencil. So just some fun trinkets that they can keep. But they can check out the books for 3 weeks and the DVD for, if they have DVD or DVDs, for 1 week. And then they get another box. So it says that subscriptions will be available on the 2nd Monday of the month after 1 p.m. So this is just another fun way that you could provide a service to the 7 to 12-year-old bracket. Well, in this case, ages 11 to 18. I'm gonna move my picture here so you can see. This is the Carnegie Evans Public Library in Albia. And this is two pictures actually of their STEM workshop. In these two pictures, the girls were making Palmer clay balls, and they were working with a STEM coordinator to teach them how to make the clay balls. So they have their recipe there, and they're looking at the instructions on how to make it. This is a fun, engaging activity for the kids, and they had a really good time making the Palmer clay balls. Now we're going to go to Drake Public Library in Centerville. These two pictures are from their After School Adventures program. The picture on the left is pictures of items that they have made as part of the After School Adventures program. So at the very bottom shelf, there are two snowy owls on the bottom left corner, and they took a pine cone and decorated it with glue and pieces of paper for the googly eyes and the feathers. And they also had some cotton balls that they attached to it. And they also had a Lego building activity, and the teen librarian put all of their Legos on display so that way the kids, when they walk into the library, they can see their creations. The picture on your right is of the kids during the After School Adventures program making their snowy owl activity. So again, fun, engaging, hands-on programs that kids can enjoy. They gain those independent skills and they build their critical thinking. I'm gonna move my picture here so that way you guys can see the text. These are three different pictures. The picture to your left is the Rosie reading monster from the Des Moines Public Library. And I wanted to share this picture because this is a great example of partnering with a community partner. In this picture, the librarian had a person dress up as Rosie, the reading monster, and the librarian and Rosie visited a second grade classroom where they read stories to the kids and they sang songs, and the kids got to meet Rosie, the reading monster. This is a great partnership between Des Moines Public Library and the second grade classroom because it's building that love of literacy. It's teaching kids about the library and what the library can provide. And it's just a positive experience for all. So that is one way of partnering with a partner, going out to the schools, telling them, hey, this is what we can provide. This is the age bracket we're looking to reach, and then going out and providing that service. And in turn, those kids, as a result, they'll say, oh, I saw her at the library. Mom, Dad, we've got to go to the library. So again, reaching out to those community partners, whether it's a school, an after-school program, or a 4-H club, really building that cohort, really building that relationship with them. That's a great way of reaching that 7 to 12-year-old age bracket. The two pictures on the right-hand side are from the South Side Library, which is a branch of the Des Moines Public Library. The top picture above, that is a picture of kids during the summer reading program, and they're putting together bird feeders made out of plastic water bottles. And the bottom picture to your right is Joel. He is a Parks and Recreation supervisor for the city of Des Moines. The youth librarian partnered with Joel to bring a program specifically targeted for ages 7 to 12-year-olds. He brought birds. It was a bird program. So the librarian read a story about birds, and then he talked about what kinds of birds are in Des Moines. And then the kids went on a bird walk, and then they built bird feeders. So again, great way of partnering, finding that partner that can help you cater to the 7 to 12-year-old age bracket that you're wanting to reach. So great examples. Our next examples are from the Oelwein Public Library. The top left corner of your screen is a picture of the Lego camp that they hosted during summer reading in 2022. So the kids there are building and creating from Legos, again, using those critical thinking skills, making friends, socializing, wonderful ways, wonderful example of doing that. The bottom picture to your right is a picture of children participating in their coding camp. So kids got together on the floor and they learned how to code using B-bots, the little yellow B-bots. And so they had to move and program the B-bot to tell it where to go. So again, working together, cooperation, building those social skills, critical thinking, and especially these two programs are STEM related. So again, it's building those critical thinking skills. Great programs, great examples for 7 to 12-year-olds. So I'm going to move my picture so you can see this picture here. This is from the Montgomery Memorial Library in Jewel. This is a picture of their makerspace. And as you can see, they have 4 chairs with a table. They have a Lego wall, so kids can pull those gray tubs out with Legos and build on the Lego wall. On the wooden shelves here, they have different types of STEM-related activities that the kids can build with. They also have some fun coloring activities. This is a fun space and a welcoming space for that 7 to 12-year-old age bracket where they can just create, make whatever they want and have fun. This is the Ottumwa Public Library. And this is a picture of the AWE Early Literacy computers. I put this picture in here because you do have kids that are learning how to read still. And these AWE computers are fabulous. They are fantastic. They have early literacy computers, and then they have after school age computers. So I wanted to put a picture of this space so that way you could see. But kids after school, they would gravitate to those computers because they've been in the classroom all day, they've been outside, inside, and sometimes they just want that screen time. But if you are able to check into purchasing an AWE computer, an after school or early literacy computer, because it's helping build skills, educational skills for children. And this is the Guttenberg Public Library. And as you can see, we have 4 7 to 12-year-olds playing on the computers. Computers are fun for this age group because they know how to play Roblox. They know how to use the computer and they love having fun on the computer. So this is just the example of the kids sitting in their computer space. So in closing, I just ask that working with 7 to 12-year-olds to just remain relevant. The library is a wonderful institution, and we have to remember that we have things to offer this group. When you start working with this age bracket, ask the kids what they'd like to see in the library. They will tell you. They will tell you what books to order for the collection. They will tell you what programs they'd like to see. They will tell you things that could help with your programming, with your collection development. They'll tell you, they'll express what they want and give them that autonomy to do so. So ask them what they'd like to see. You'd be surprised what they'll tell you. And just remember, we have spaces to let them explore their social and emotional learning. When you're putting on hands-on programs, STEM programs, family programs, plan those programs with their social, emotional learning in mind. We want them to be curious. We want them to learn and explore and discover. because children learn best through play, no matter if they're preschool age or if they're a 12-year-old. Everyone learns best through play. So make sure your spaces give them that autonomy to do that. And look for community partners. We are for community partners. Look for people to partner with. Get on the phone, call them and say, hey, I would love to tell you about the library. I would love to work with 7 to 12-year-olds. How can we partner together to do that? So look for community partners in your town. And just remember, we are for kids and they're grown-ups. This is a wonderful group. And we as the library and librarians, we need to be championing all of them. So thank you so much for viewing. And to learn more, or if you need more information, please contact the State Library of Iowa.